In the ever-evolving landscape of filmmaking, the digital revolution has unsheared in a new era, leaving many videographers yearning for the timeless allure of analog aesthetics. However, the traditional process of shooting analog has become increasingly time-intense in our fast-paced world. What if there was a simple solution to satisfy this craving of analog look without compromising efficiency? Welcome to the realm of DEHANCER, a transformative tool that promises to be the bridge between the nostalgia of analog film and the convenience of digital filmmaking. I'm going to give an in-depth overview of what this plugin is capable of, and the best thing is, if you like to use it yourself, you can get a 10% discount to use for all of DEHANCER'S products. So let's get into it. This color grading plugin is available for DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut, Premiere Pro, as well as After Effects. I'm using Premiere Pro for this review since I'm mainly using this software and I want to keep my workflow as easy as possible without switching software, so this comes in very handy. I'm going to give you an overview of the main important steps. After you install the plugin, you can simply search for it in the Effects panel and drag it onto your clip or adjustment layer. I would recommend using an adjustment layer because it makes performance a lot better. Now we have all the three settings here. The first thing you need to do is select our color space. If you're not shooting with a log profile, you need to choose Rec 7 or 9. I'm mainly shooting in S-Log 3, so I have the opportunity to select my camera model and the color profile I used. This plugin changes the flat profile into Rec 7 or 9 without using another LUT. We also have the opportunity to make some more adjustments like exposure or changing temperature or tint. In this next window we can choose the film preset we like to emulate. There are plenty of different film types. I recommend going through all of them to get a better understanding of what the difference are. Below of this you'll find the push and pull slider. In analog photography and filmmaking, pushing and pulling adjusts how the film develops, making it more or less sensitive. Pushing boosts contrast and grain by extending development, while pulling reduces them by shortening it. It's very handy for adjusting different lighting and creating specific visual effects. Next up we have Film Developer. In this section we can make more adjustments to the overall look, especially contrast. Film compression needs a little bit more of understanding, so here's how it works. Digital sensors and film capture light differently. Imagine a measuring cup getting too full. That's what happens when sensors causing sudden highlights and clipping when they hit their limit. Film, on the other hand, soaks in light gradually like a sponge, handling overexposure more smoothly. Now, this affects how the image looks. Film gradually exposes highlights to their max density, then further exposure impacts shadow and midtones, creating a low contrast look. DEHANCER'S film compression tool mimics this film behavior by adjusting highlights towards midtones and keeping shadows and mid-shadows unchanged. Tonal range decides how much this tool affects tones. A minimum setting 0 means no compression at all, while the maximum 100 compresses a wide range from brightest highlights to deep shadows. Film printing is the last step of making analog movies, resulting in a film print for projection or digital use. DEHANCER'S updated print tool follows their idea of using photo paper to create film profiles. Now, Linear keeps the film's pure profile without adding print medium characteristics. So if you want to go with the original LUT or film type, you just have to click on Linear and don't get a film printing emulation. But now comes the fun part and the part in which this plugin really stands out for me. So we have film grain, and DEHANCER'S film grain tool really helps you control how grainy your footage looks. There are two types. Negative grain is more noticeable and highlights and giving it a bit more detail, which is common in negative films. Positive grain, on the other hand, has a softer classic look, typical in positive films. Now this is the part in which we can make our images really look like it was shot on film. And this really stands out for me. Halation is a super powerful tool, and what is meant by that is a visual effect that appears when shooting on a film as a red-orange halo near the contrasting boundaries of our overexposed areas, as well as a red glare in the midtones. This is something we only get when shooting on film. Another effect we often see in movies shot on film is bloom. It refers to how bright light spreads around edges where there are big differences in picture. It starts in the camera's lenses and gets changed and made stronger as it goes through layers of the photo film. There are certain ways to emulate this effect with your digital camera, like using a vintage lens or promised filters from brands like Cinebloom or Tiffen. I'm actually using a Tiffen, for example. Further down we have some more special effects that could make your video look a lot like it was shot on film. So since this video should be a review, I want to tell you what I think about this plugin. For some time now I wanted to find a combined style of digital work and analog visual effects, and I always wanted to find a way to make my videos look a bit more like it was shot on film. But I never really seemed to find a good enough LUT or preset for this. And I also wasn't really able to achieve this look all by myself. So I think this plugin does a pretty good job in emulating the perfect analog style for your videos. If you put in some time and try to understand the sliders, it's actually pretty easy to use as well. What really stands out for me are tools like halation and bloom, since this is something you can't really achieve in post-production. And here it's just one easy click. But there's also a downgrade, and this is the performance. If I wanted to enable all of these effects, it's really slowing down my computer and it's almost unable to use. Thankfully, DEHANCER implemented the chance to create your own LUT with the adjustments you just made. So I would suggest making the settings that fit for your video on a still and then create a LUT and use it for the rest of your footage. But what's the price for this? You can get this tool with a subscription or a lifetime key. You only have to pay once. Of course, a plugin like this has its price, but with this code you can get a 10% discount, and you can also support me as a small YouTuber. So I hope I could get you more into the analog vibe and that I could inspire you to use this plugin and try it for yourself. Thanks for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'm going to see you in the next one.